This is Chapter 1 of The Vampire Henry by Michael S. Walker. So I'm sitting in the bar pretending to drink a Miller High Life. It was my beer of choice when I was alive and human, but to tell you the truth, I wasn't really all that damn picky back then. Beer, wine, whiskey, tequila, vodka. I drink up whatever the bartender put down in front of me. Whatever I could afford or manage to sweet talk out of some soul richer in funds than me. Now, of course, there's only one thing I want or can drink. Usually, I like this bar. It's this giant cave of a tavern, dark as all hell, a meeting ground for bikers, whores, schizophrenics, pedophiles, punkers, druggies, alkies, failed writers, and vampires. That's me, the last two, failed writer, vampire. Actually, I don't consider myself a failed writer at all. I believe that as long as I'm sitting down at the typer, pecking away, as long as the ideas and the blood is flowing, life doesn't get any better than that. I've written countless short stories now, more poems than there are gravestones in the city. And I never get tired of it. Every time I sit down, it's fresh. But unfortunately, that is not enough as far as this society is concerned. What was it the writer-actor Harvey Fierstein once said? This is America, and if it don't make money, it don't count. Word, as the kids say these days. I've been published in quite a few small literary journals, but they don't pay for shit. I send my stuff out all the time, did even when I was human. You would think with all the badly written vampire fiction out there, the exploits of a real, honest-to-God, working-class vampire would garner more interest. But no. I guess America is more interested in vamps that sparkle and seduce high school girls, or vamps that have been around since the time of the pharaohs. Seriously. I have a whole wall in my crummy house plastered with all my rejection slips, and I'm about to start another. I often engage in the fantasy of what it would be like to be a famous writer, say as famous as Mailer or somebody. It'd be nice not to work a day job anymore. And by day job, I mean the graveyard shift in warehouses and stores and such. I'd have a sweet house in a rich part of the city, maybe, by the zoo or something, where I could hear the animals at night. And I would buy a big burgundy coffin for myself and stick it in a giant master bedroom. That'd be sweet. Like I said, I usually like my bar. I sit and pretend to drink my Miller, and the bartenders, for the most part, leave me the hell alone. There was this one kid, an ex-Marine who worked here for a time, used to hassle me, call me a bum. I had to teach him a lesson. You don't want to fuck with a vampire. Tonight is not a really good night to be hunting here. There's some kind of heavy metal band playing in the large dance room, the place where the pool tables are. They are making a teeth-grinding racket. I caught a glimpse of them when I went to the head earlier in the evening. 4 skinny dudes in black leather pants, hair down to their buttholes. They wear makeup too. Clown white and lines of black grease paint. I guess they think they're pretty badass. The bartender, whose nickname is Junior, I have no idea what his real name is, doesn't seem to like the band much either. He's wearing earplugs and he paces back and forth behind the long burnished bar like a jittery squirrel, filling drinks, swiping at the bar with a dishcloth, playing the cash register like Rachmaninoff at the Ivories. Between his antics and the racket in the next room, I'm starting to get nervous. And I've been dead for 5 years. I really need a drink. I check out the prospects in the room. At the other end of the bar, there are two regulars, working-class Joes trying to watch the preseason football game on the portable TV above the cash register. Too bad for them. You can tell that they hate the rock band just as much as Junior does by the way they keep shaking their heads, rolling their eyes, and gulping down their draft beers. Over by the hoops machine, this game they have where you can sink foul shots in a basket for quarters, a biker dude and his lady are going at it pretty hot and heavy. I watch them with interest for a little while. He has his hand on her tight little leather-covered ass and is squeezing at it like it was a slab of artist clay or something. I scratch my balding head and wonder if it would be worth the trouble to get them to my house for a drink. And then miraculously, she walks in. A goddess is the first thing I think, as she walks slowly and steadily into the bar on stiletto heels. She's about 45 or so, and you can tell that she's seen some fucked up shit in all those years. There is all kinds of crazy dancing around in those eyes. But they are big and gray-blue too, so that makes it all right. She's wearing a sweet little pink cocktail dress, and her tits, which have to be C's at least, are bouncing and jiggling like two happy drunks on a trampoline. Perfect. I turn it on. I focus all my energy on her. One of the advantages of being a bloodsucker is the ability to focus all your attention on your would-be prey. Hypnotize them with your glance, like a cobra does with its meal. It's definitely a plus for me because I don't look like Dracula or any of those sparkly vampires I mentioned earlier. I look like a dead truck driver. I catch those big eyes with my gaze as she moves into the dark bar. I see her brow furrow, and I can almost hear her mind working. Who the hell is this guy? He doesn't look like anybody. Why? Yeah. Why do you suddenly feel compelled to go and sit by this fugly loser? Pheromones, baby. Strong pheromones. And so, I turn it on and she comes to me. She doesn't sit right next to me. She leaves one stool between us, a fragile, illusionary security zone. She stares straight ahead, pretending not to notice me, but my vamp senses are on high alert. Her heart is beating faster. She's so nervous, confused. I sniff the air, and yes, a little aroused. I glance over at her long, elegant neck. I can see the sweet vino flowing like the Ganges through the stem of her. This is turning out to be a good night. Seems like I'm not going to have to resort to catching some homeless guy in a dark alley after all. I sit there savoring the moment, and have all the time in the world. I am in control after all and utterly unstoppable. I watch as she extracts a pack of Virginia Slims and a lighter from a frilly handbag, fumbles one lit. I send all the sweet, sensuous, smoldering vibes her way as we rock there in silence. Thankfully, the heavy metal band has taken a break from battering the air. Buy you a drink? I say, suddenly leaning towards her, smiling, letting my eyes dance around with all the hunger I can muster. It's good. What? She says, looking, trying hard to act as if it's the first time she's noticed me. It makes me want to laugh. I was wondering if I could buy the lady a drink, I say matter-of-factly. To take in her sexy, compact body. The tits are really something. They make me want to whistle. Oh, I don't know, she says, taking a long drag on her cigarette and appraising me with her hurt, crazy eyes. I'm supposed to meet my girlfriend here, and like I said, my senses are on high gear. It's all complete bullshit. She came here hoping to get laid by some young tough with a big cock. She was not counting on running into Henry the vampire. Come on, honey, I don't bite, I say, smiling, showing her what is left of my yellow teeth. At least my canines are still there and sharp. Well, not right away, I add. A small crowd has gathered close to us at one end of the bar, the metal band and their patrons and hangers-on. Junior is going crazy, pouring shots for all of them. I notice he still has one earplug in. This could take forever. Or could it be an opportunity? On second thought, honey, why don't you come to my house and we can have a nice little drink in peace and quiet, I say, turning it on completely, boring into her with my red-rimmed eyes, promising her tacitly her heart's desire, everything she came here for, if only she will walk out into the night with me. She tries to break free from my gaze. Her heart is beating much faster now beneath that tight dress. It's almost palpable. Sexy. I don't even know your name, she says weakly. How do I know you aren't some kind of serial killer? She stubs her long cigarette out into one of the flimsy ashtrays that litter the bar, a floury husk coated with her blood-red lipstick. Henry, I say, smiling. And I'm many things. But a serial killer ain't one of them. We take her car, a beat-up Honda Civic, to my pad. I tell her as we leave that I caught a taxi to the bar. This is a lie. My pickup is parked where I always park it when I go to the bar, at the far end of their vast gravel parking lot, close to the old bread factory that's been closed now for like 3 or maybe 4 years. I remember when I used to be alive, how I liked to take in the sweet smell of the bread baking in the morning, as I rode off to some crummy job somewhere, or went to catch a little of the hair of the dog that bit me. The reason I tell her that I don't drive is that later, when this is all over, as sadly it will be, I'm going to have to do something with her vehicle, ditch it somewhere like I always do after a drink. I don't want it just sitting here for the cops to find. As soon as we're in the car, I tell her where to go. Do you know Lanehurst Avenue, I say, buckling up into the passenger seat? The fashionable part of Lanehurst? Well, I live in the other part. She pulls the car out into traffic and I praise her smooth, shapely legs as she works the pedal of the car. Her cocktail dress rides up a little, and I think of the beautiful mystery just waiting there under that pink prison. Mind if I play the radio, I say, touching one of her legs lightly with my fingertips, sending pulses of vamp electricity to her brain. She shivers and glances at me almost defiantly. I don't even know why, she says, shaking her head, and then turns back to concentrate on driving. Sure. Play it, she adds softly. So I turn the radio on to the classical music station, WKPC. It's what I always listen to when I'm at the typer. They are playing Mussorgsky's Pictures in Exhibition, and I wave my right hand casually, as if I were conducting the orchestra from a distance. I'm feeling very good. It's a cool summer night, and the whole damn city seems to be alive, brimming with possibilities like some vast smeared honeycomb. She looks at me again. By the way, you never even asked my name, she says, pouting. It's Marie. Hello, Marie. I think I love you, I coo, placing my other hand softly on her leg, leaving it there this time.